Keep on pushing, baby. What's up going on, everybody? Welcome to the Victory and Beyond. And I'm Jay Lou. This is a Black Friday special edition of the Victory and Beyond. So how's everybody doing today? After eating all that turkey and all the mashed potatoes and all the yams and all the casseroles, and so I usually make a really fine asparagus casserole for my family. It's a family tradition. I always make this asparagus casserole. So if you like asparagus, and you probably like my casserole. But anyways, yeah, man, it was a great Thanksgiving. It's always a pleasure to be with family and friends and watch some football and all that. And anyways, so I'm hoping everybody's having a great Thanksgiving weekend. I'm sure a lot of y'all are out there shopping or shopping online already, getting ready for the holidays and all that stuff. Me personally, I don't really get into the holidays until closer to Christmas. But anyways, let's dive right in. There's a lot to discuss. So this is a big, first off, hit my bullet points. It's a big college football weekend with a lot of playoff implications. And then obviously we give you my take on who I think my top 4 teams are in college football. Obviously it's all gonna vary depending on what happens with the results, from the weekend. And then obviously we're gonna talk about week 12 of the NFL weekend. It's a lot of good matchups. Obviously, we're going to talk about my Texans against the Jags and all that. I was going to touch on a little bit of Rockets, but there's so much material to cover. So we'll get back to the Rockets on my next show. But congratulations for them beating Memphis the other night, Thanksgiving Eve. It was good. That was a nice win. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and dive right in. So this is a huge college football weekend. I'm sure most of you college football fans know. I'm obviously this is my team. Unfortunately, it's been another disappointing year. I mean, they fired Jimbo Fisher. They got deep pockets if they can let go of Jimbo Fisher and pay him off, and they're still going to have to get another head coach. But anyways, it kicked off yesterday with the Egg Bowl, with Ole Miss and Mississippi State. So Ole Miss did finally prevail. They did have a slow start, but they finally got the running game going along with the solid defense. So they did beat Mississippi State. They were ranked 12th in the country. They look pretty good. They've been pretty solid all year. They beat Mississippi State 17-7. So they're hoping them and Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss are definitely hoping for a New Year's Six bid. So the top 4 teams right now, currently as we stand, I'm saying right now, as we speak, the top 4 teams, we got Georgia, and all these teams are undefeated, obviously. Georgia is 11-0, Ohio State is 11-0, Michigan's 11-0, and then we got Washington at 11-0. Then we got Florida State at 5, Oregon's at 6, Texas is at 7, and we got Alabama at 8. So, like I said, the top 4 teams are undefeated. So, I'll give you a breakdown of all the matchups, with the top teams in the country. So, Georgia is going to play Georgia Tech, and then, more likely they should beat Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is a mediocre team. Then they'll play Alabama in the SEC championship, which obviously will be a good game. And then the big game is tomorrow morning. You got Ohio State and Michigan. They're going to be playing at the Big House. They're going to be playing at Michigan. Ohio State, like I said, is ranked number 2. Michigan's ranked number 3. Last year at this time, they were undefeated also. Michigan has won the last 2 years after Ohio State had that big run of like 7, 8 straight years of them dominating Michigan. I just think that here's my take on Ohio State Michigan. Obviously, it's going to be a huge game. I'm going to roll Ohio State. I just like here's a big factor. The big X factor is that running back, Travion, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, Travion Henderson. That dude's a beast, man. Since he's come back, he's an absolute he's running fresh. He's an absolute beast. You know, he's gonna be hard to stop. And obviously, you still got Marvin Harrison Jr. to deal with. I mean, he's definitely one of the best wide receivers in the nation. Obviously, I do like Michigan up front, you know, defensively and all that. And obviously, they got Blake Corum, and they got, you know, they're very stout. But I'm gonna definitely roll Iowa State. So that basically takes care of number 2 and number 3. So that because they're gonna cancel each other out. So you got Georgia, then you got Ohio State, Michigan. They're gonna play each other tomorrow. Then you got Washington. They're gonna play Washington State. And then they basically whoever. And then once they beat Washington State, they're gonna be playing Oregon. Again, there'll be another rematch. You know, Washington already beat Oregon earlier this year. Then you got Florida State. Florida State, I'm going to be honest with you, Florida State really hasn't played anybody. But unfortunately, they lost their star quarterback. He got hurt last week. But obviously, they're still going to be ranked up in the top, you know, top 4 or 5. But they fell off. They were ranked in the top 4. Now they're in the 5th position. So Washington Huskies leapfrogged them. So Florida State has a lot to prove. Like I said, I don't think they've really played anybody, but the ACC is the weakest conference in college football, in my opinion. Clemson's not what they used to be. Miami's okay. Florida's not good. I mean, really the only team they're going to play, really good team play, is in the ACC championship against Louisville. So we'll see what happens with that. Obviously, I said Oregon. They're going to play Oregon State. Oregon State's a pretty good team. They're going to be playing in Austin Stadium, though, you know, Oregon's home crowd. So that's going to be a pretty good game. Oregon State's got a pretty good defense. The Beavers got a good defense. And then you got Texas sitting right there, too. They're going to be playing Texas Tech. Man, I wish they were still playing Texas A&M. I miss that rivalry. I'm looking forward to it, to them finally renewing the rivalry next year. I remember this would be the day when they played each other. They had their big bonfire the night before, and then they have their big game today, Texas and Texas A&M. You know, right in the morning. I missed that. I don't know if they're gonna have it the day after Thanksgiving like they used to, but I'm definitely looking forward to them renewing their rivalry. Even though Texas definitely looks a lot better right now than Texas A&M, but who knows what happens with their new head coach. Then you got Alabama sitting at 10-1. And obviously, they're going to play their rival Auburn. Auburn's a decent team. They're okay. So here's what I'm going to take. Here's my take on a couple of things with college football. As far as the top 4 teams, I know we've seen in the past, you get like 2 teams in the same conference in the top 4. I don't like that at all. I feel like if you didn't win your championship, this is a big example is with the SEC. The SEC is always loaded, especially the SEC West. You know, you got Alabama, you got LSU, you know, you got them cats, and then you got Georgia on the other side. I don't think there should be 2 of the same teams in the conference. Let me know what your take is. Tell me if you think I'm wrong. Tell me if you feel that there can be 2 teams in the same conference in the top 4. So I don't think there should be, but that's what it is. So say for example, Ohio State beats Michigan or vice versa. I don't think them two should still be in the top four, even if it was a very close, hard fought game. So here's what I think if everything goes as planned. I think Georgia's going to beat Georgia Tech, and then they're going to obviously play a very close, hard fought game in Atlanta against Alabama. So I think Georgia's going to take is going to be the number one seed. They're going to have the top. They're going to be number one. And then you got, like I said, I think Ohio State will beat Michigan. So I think Ohio State will be number two. And then I think Washington is going to move up to number three. There's obviously Michigan, like I said, they're going to lose to Ohio State. They're going to fall out of the top four. So I think Washington's going to take care of business. They'll beat Washington State in the Apple Bowl, and then they'll beat Oregon in the Pac-12 championship. So I think Washington will be number three. And here's the big surprise for everybody out there. And I'm not a Longhorns fan. I kind of gave it away. But I think the Texas Longhorns are going to be number 4 in the country. That's my take. Texas is going to beat Texas Tech, and then they're going to meet Oklahoma State in the Big 12 championship, and that's going to be obviously a good game too. I think they're playing in Dallas. So I got Texas in squeezing into the top 4. So here's the semifinal matchups. Now, tell me these aren't good games. So I got Georgia and Texas playing in the one semifinal game. Then I got Ohio State and Washington playing in that semifinal game. Tell me what you think about that. And my other take also is they really need to expand the playoff from 4 teams to 8 teams, in my opinion. I know before they were going to have five major conferences, but who knows what's going to happen now? There's no Pac-12 that's going to be there after this year. Now you got all these super conferences now with the SEC and a Big 12 and Big 10 and all that. It's gotten crazy. It's just chaos right now in college football landscape right now. So anyways, tell me what you think. Like I said, here's my prediction on the top 4. I got Georgia at 1. I got Ohio State at 2 because I think they're going to beat Michigan. I got Washington at 3, and I got Texas at number 4. All right, so let me give me a swig real quick, and then we're going to move on to the NFL Week 12. All right, NFL Week 12. Things are brewing definitely right now at this time of the year. We had 3 games yesterday on Thanksgiving. I was totally wrong on the first game. I had the Lions beating the Packers. I was totally off on that one. Because the Packers came in here with a game plan with Jordan Love just slanging that ball and letting Christian Watson get involved early. They came out like gangbusters. So, anyways, the Packers did beat the Lions in Detroit. And I had Detroit. I was feeling really good about Detroit. I had them as a really true NFC contender, Super Bowl contender. Not just a NFC, but a true contender NFC. I still think they're pretty good. But they've had some really bad losses, They really had some bad losses, I'm not going to lie. But the Packers winning obviously keeps them in control of it keeps them in the playoff hunt. The Lions are still in control of their division. They're still up by 2 games in the NFC North. All you Cowboys fans, how you feeling today? I know you're excited, all you Cowboys fans. I'm not a Cowboys fan, but y'all continue to be rolling right now. I mean, it was kind of close in the first maybe even 3 quarters, but y'all exploded for a 25-point fourth quarter yesterday. Y'all went off. Punctuated by Deron Bland with that pick 6. Definitely looking good on both sides of the ball. The defense is loaded. And the offense is, they're doing their thing. Dak Prescott's looking good. And CeeDee Lamb. Y'all definitely looking good. And, y'all, like I said, y'all took care of business. Y'all whooped the hell out of the Commanders. I still don't like that name, Commanders, but it is what it is. But y'all beat the hell out of the Commanders 45-10. So y'all ended up beating the brakes off of them over there in Jerry's world. So my big question for Cowboys fans is, what are the Cowboys going to do in the playoffs? Are they finally going to make some real noise in January? I'm not just asking you Cowboys fans that. I'm asking everybody in the NFL. Because they've looked good before during the season. And then even when it comes to January, when it comes to, these big games in the playoffs, y'all choke. Y'all don't. So I'm not going to expect anything until I'm going to see, obviously, what seeding you're going to have. I still think the Eagles are going to have the home field because they're looking really good right now. They got some big games coming up. I know they're playing Buffalo this next week. But anyways, we'll see, Cowboys fans. But y'all definitely looking good. Okay, so the other game last night was the 49ers at the Seahawks. I picked the 49ers to win that one, and I was pretty much on point with that one. I was on point with the Cowboys games. I had the Cowboys winning that one too. But yeah, the 49ers look legit. They look like true Super Bowl contenders after they lost those 3 games earlier in the season. Now they've won 3 in a row. And Brock Purdy sure does look pretty. Brock Purdy does look pretty. Christian McCaffrey looks like Christian McCaffrey. And that defense is pretty good. So Christian McCaffrey in the first half rushed for over 100 yards. He had a pair of touchdowns. And he also had a rushing touchdown with Deebo Samuel. He's another playmaker right there. So, and also they sacked Geno Smith 6 times. Poor Geno Smith. I mean, I think the Seahawks are an okay team, but they're not even close to the level of the 49ers. So, I'm really seeing eyeing that 49er Eagle game coming up because they're going to play each other here later on in the season. I think everybody's going to be watching that game, not just a casual football fan. So I'm really starting to see them as I'm seeing them 2 teams, the 49ers and the Eagles, in the NFC Conference Championship. I really do. It's looking like it. Unless the Cowboys make some noise or unless the Lions, do their thing, we'll see. So let's go to Sunday. Well, actually, I'm skipping today. We got a game today. We got a game that's on right now. So I don't even know what the score is right now. But we got the Dolphins at the Jets. The spread is Miami is favored by 7.5 points. I mean, these 2 offenses could not be any different. The Dolphins are so explosive. They got so many playmakers. There's so much speed on their running backs and their wide receivers. I just think the Dolphins are going to explode. They're going to score a lot of points. The Jets are just going to struggle with their lackluster offense. And then they benched Zach Wilson. So Zach Wilson's on the bench, and they got their journeyman quarterback Tim Boyle. My prediction: Dolphins 31, Jets 13. Moving on to Sunday. Now we're moving on to Sunday. Jaguars in the Houston Texans. Where you at, Texans fans? Right here. Right there. H-Town. Are you ready for one of the biggest Sundays in quite a while? I would probably say since the playoffs against Buffalo. That's a big weekend. Because right now, if we win this game Sunday, I'm sure we are in first place because we already beat Jacksonville in the third game of the season at Jacksonville. Now, obviously, they weren't playing like how they're playing now, but we're playing much better now also. Jacksonville is favored by a point. That's the spread. But like I said, it's going to be a high-scoring game. But I just think the Texans are going to win. I think the Texans have the Jags number. One team that the Texans always seem to beat and beat them, whether it seems like the Jags are a better team, whether it's there or over here, the Texans always got the Jaguars number. Can't explain it. It's one of those things. but I think they're going to prevail and beat the Jaguars at home, and we're going to be in first place. We'll be 7-4 after Sunday, okay? So I got the Texans 34. I got the Jaguars 30. Yeah, I know it's a lot of points. I predicted a high-scoring game. Next game, the next game is Saints at the Falcons. Atlanta's favored by a point. These are two teams. I mean, this is probably one of the worst divisions in football, the NFC South. I mean, the Saints are leading the NFC South with a 5-5 record. So whoever wins this game is going to take the lead in the division, but they're still going to play each other in the last game of the regular season. I think it's going to go back and forth. It's going to be a close game. I think the Saints are going to prevail. I got the Saints winning 27, the Falcons 24. Steelers at the Bengals. So I got the Steelers favored by a point. Obviously, Joe Burrow is out for the season. They got to adjust to Jake Browning. But what I've seen from Jake Browning so far, I kind of like Jake Browning. He's got some moxie in him. Obviously, the Steelers just fired their offensive coordinator, Matt Canada. It was long overdue. He was not a good offensive coordinator. Let's keep it trill up in here. But I'm not a fan of Kenny Pickett either. I like their defense. I'm just not a fan of Kenny Pickett. I got the Bengals winning by a touchdown. I got Bengals 24. I got the Steelers 17. Buccaneers at the Colts. Indy's favored by 2 points. I just like Baker Mayfield, and I think they're going to have a solid running game with Rashard White. Jonathan Taylor's been kind of a disappointment since he came back. He hasn't even had a 100-yard game. So I got the Buccaneers winning in a close one. Buccaneers 23, Colts 20. Next one's Patriots at the Giants. New England's favored by 3.5 points. So this is the matchup of the league's two lowest scoring teams in the league. I think Giants are going to roll with the undrafted rookie, Tommy DeVito. He had a pretty good game last week. Even though the Patriots have started getting the running game going, it's going to be a low-scoring game. I know, like I said, the Pats are favored by almost 4 points, but I'm going to have the Giants winning this one, 20, Patriots 17. Panthers at the Titans. The Tennessee Titans are favored by 3.5 points. You got a matchup of two rookie quarterbacks. You got Bryce Young and Will Levis. I think Derrick Henry's gonna have a Derrick Henry's gonna have a nice bounce back game this weekend after the game against the Jags last Sunday. I think also Will Levis is gonna have a better game than Bryce Young. I think Bryce Young's gonna have a so-so game, but I just think the Titans are gonna have a better game. So I got the Titans winning 20, the Panthers 13. Browns at the Broncos. This is an interesting game. Broncos are favored by 1.5 points. The Broncos have actually won 4 straight games. Any of y'all see this coming? Broncos winning 4 straight. They were 1-5. Now they're 5-5. Russell Wilson's playing better. They're still struggling to get an offensive rhythm, but Russell Wilson's definitely playing better. Myles Garrett is having a monster season. He's in the running for MVP. He's up there with Lamar Jackson and C.J. Stroud. So he's leading the league in sacks right now with 13 sacks. I think Cortland Sutton for the Broncos is going to have a really, really good game. And I think the Broncos defense is going to be able to limit Amari Cooper. Obviously, he's one of their main go-to guys for Cleveland. And just without having a really solid quarterback for the Browns, I think the Broncos are going to win. The Broncos 27, the Browns 17. Rams at the Cardinals. Rams, so they got this at even. They don't have no favorites in this game. I think Kyler Murray and the Cardinals are going to win their third game of the season. I think Kyler Murray's going to have a big, big game. Matthew Stafford's still trying to get back his mojo. He just got back in the mix recently. I do think Rams wide receiver Nakua is going to have a nice game. But I think the Cardinals combination of Murray and Connor, their running back, and then that solid tight end that they have, I think it's going to be too much to overcome. I got the Cardinals 27, Rams 24. Chiefs at the Raiders. Chiefs are favored by 8.5 points. That's a pretty big spread right there, considering the Chiefs have been struggling offensively, especially in the second half. But I will say that the Chiefs are going to get back on track. Travis Kelce's going to have a big, big game. He always has a big game against the Raiders. Obviously, the matchup you like to see is Max Crosby for the Raiders going against the Chiefs offense and Mahomes. I just think if the Chiefs are going to score a good amount of points, they're going to be in good shape, especially with their defense. Their defense is pretty good, especially with their boy Smith up front, and then they got what's his name, the main secondary playmaker. He made some plays the other night. So I got the Chiefs winning. Chiefs 27, Raiders 13. Bills at the Eagles. You know we're in these 3 o'clock games now. Philly's favored by 3.5 points. This is definitely going to be a fun game to watch. Josh Allen's definitely getting into a better rhythm, and they definitely looked better last week. But you really can't bet against Jalen Hurts and the Eagles in Philadelphia. They really look legit. They look like true Super Bowl contenders. That's basically what I got to go with. I'm going to go with the Eagles in a close one. I got the Eagles 28. I got the Bills 24. All right, now for the primetime games. Sunday night and Monday Night Football. Ravens at LA Chargers. Sunday Night Football. The Ravens are favored by 4 points. So both teams can score points. You got Lamar Jackson with the Ravens, and you got Justin Herbert with the LA Chargers. The big difference is their defense. Their defense is so different. The Ravens defense is one of the top defenses in the league. And then you got the Chargers defense. They're one of the worst. They're at the bottom of the league, especially when it comes to passing defense. So I'm gonna expect rookie Zay Flowers to have a big game. I'm even gonna say the Ravens tight end. Even if Andrews is out, their other tight end's gonna step in. He's gonna have a decent game. And Lamar Jackson's going to get out and have a couple of nice little runs and stuff like that. I got the Ravens winning 34, Chargers 24. And then Monday Night Football. Are you ready for some football? So the Vikings are favored by 3.5 points over the Bears. I just think the Vikings are going to prevail. I think they'll be able to contain Justin Fields from any big runs. And I like Joshua Dobbs for the Vikings. He's really looked really good at quarterback. I just think he's going to have a really good night. They got a few receivers they can throw to, and they got a good defense. So I got the Vikings 24, Bears 20. So let me know what you think on my takes for my college football. So like I said, it's a huge college football weekend. Definitely gonna be watching the Michigan Ohio State game. Obviously, I gotta watch the Aggies and LSU because I'm an Aggie. We're watching the Texas Tech game tonight. We're watching Oregon State. There's some big games this college football weekend. And then obviously you got there's some good matchups for the NFL too. So I just want to give a birthday shout out. I got a birthday shout out I want to give. My first birthday shout out is to somebody I haven't seen in a long time. He's somebody I went to school with back in the day. He used to live down the street from me. His birthday is today. We used to go to Skate Central when it was Skate Central. Now it's a church over there on 1092. So shout out to you, Steven. Happy 48th birthday. You know, it's awesome. Enjoy it. And then shout out to Daniel, man. Shout out to Daniel out in the Woodlands, man. I see y'all always enjoy your pictures with your kids, you know, and you know all the fun stuff that y'all got going on and everything. Yeah, man. Definitely birthday shout outs to y'all. Hope y'all have a great weekend. Again, thanks for tuning in for another Big 3 and Beyond show. I always appreciate the love and support. Definitely put that like on my videos. And don't forget to subscribe to Big 3 and Beyond. And hey, I'm out. Have a great Thanksgiving weekend. Enjoy some football and enjoy spending time with the loved ones. And peace. I'm out of here, H-Town. Woo!